You have the option to raise the top marginal rate in Vermont, offset some of the human services cuts here, but you don't want to do it. But you'd like Congress to do that. Couldn't you resolve those two?
Sure. Vermont is not an island. We all know that people will pay a certain amount of taxes on a state level, and when those taxes are disproportionate compared to neighboring states, they migrate. Income tax is particularly portable. We all know that we have a very progressive income tax in Vermont. I'm proud of that. I help write the tax code that keeps it progressive. The wealthiest should pay the most. But when you get up around 9%, frankly, you start to lose more than you gain. So the federal government should be raising taxes on the wealthiest Americans who are paying the lowest taxes at any time in American history. The state of Vermont does not have the flexibility to do that because we all know that New Hampshire is to our east and Florida is not far away. And frankly, my job is to take the 435 high-income taxpayers in Vermont and grow that base, grow our customer base so that we have more revenue.
Isn't that kind of a mixed message you're sending those Vermonters who you say you want to protect, but you're saying I'm not going to raise the taxes here, but I'm telling the federal government it's okay if you do it across the board?
Well, it's not a mixed message. It's simple math. If we raise income taxes so that we're not competitive with neighboring states, we will lose income taxpayers in Vermont. If the federal government does it, there's nowhere to go. And they should pay higher taxes. So it's really a simple business calculation. My job as governor is to ensure that we get as much as we can from the income tax, which we are right now, and ensure that we not only keep our income taxpayers in Vermont, but we grow our customer base so that we have more revenue in all of that.
But Governor, I think there's some confusion here between the marginal rates and the actual rate that the wealthy in the state pay. Because if you look at the effective rates, the wealthy pay 5.4%, those who make more than $500,000 to $1 million a year. And that's absolutely comparable with all of our neighbors. It's actually less in some cases. So I don't understand how you can make this argument, particularly when there's $190 million worth of savings potentially. The wealthy is 5% because of the tax breaks that have been pushed forward.
All I can tell you is that I don't know where you get your numbers, but I can tell you that Vermont's marginal income tax rates are high at the top, and they should be. They're high compared to our neighboring states, and they should be. We don't have the capacity to raise them higher.
The Blue Ribbon Tax Commission came up with those rates. I'm not making it up out of thin air.
All I can tell you is there's very few high income taxpayers in Vermont. I don't buy the argument that people are paying 5%. I happen to have been one of those taxpayers, and I can tell you, I don't know how they pay 5%.
435 homeowners are first in income above what?
We have 373,000.
I think the difference here is that we're talking about the difference between adjusted gross income and taxable income, so people can claim deductions. So
New Hampshire has a rate of 0. Florida has a rate of 0. That's who we compete with. I can take you to any county in Vermont and introduce you to Vermonters who are no longer Vermonters. And we need to find the balance between how we keep them here and how we pay our bills. And anyone that tells me that we are not close to the precipice in terms of what we can ask Vermonters to pay in income taxes, I just think isn't really looking at the facts. I can introduce you to many of my neighbors who no longer are Vermont residents. There is a point where we lose more than we gain, and I think we're there. If anyone wants to refute it, come down and tell me why I got so many people in my county who either moved to New Hampshire or live in Florida 6 months in a day, they claim.
are you worried that you're sounding like your predecessor?
Listen, I've sounded like this on this issue for as long as I've been in public service. My predecessor was right about some things.